Hello, everybody. Welcome to another rendition of Likey Movie Talk. We are going to do our predictions for the Oscars. This is the 95th Academy Awards, and I am having some technical issues on my side, usually when I do anything on the screen at the same time as talking, and I'm not sure why that is. Perhaps the people at Google can explain it to me at some point, but I digress. We will go into our predictions. We're going to make this as fast as we can. Um, there are a lot of award categories, but it's the 95th Academy Awards, and there are a whole lot of exciting films nominated. So we're going to start by introducing the rest of the panel. It seems like I'm coming through okay. Otherwise, they would have interrupted me by now. But we have Taylor. Say hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Perfect.
I'm joking. My name's Taylor. Hello, everyone.
And we have Kels joining us. Hi, Kels.
Hi. You can call me Kelly if you really want to, but that's my fun screen name.
Okay, cool. Kels will help me out here. She was wanting to mainly be audience for this video, but we found another great use for her. Besides that, she's going to multitask here a little, I think. I'm going to hold up the card that has all of the nominations listed, and she's going to help me out by reading them aloud. And then we'll start discussing slightly. We're only going to devote about 5-ish, 10-ish minutes to some of the more technical words, and then we'll get into the meat of the entree, so to speak. So, yes, the meat. We will have the meat. Without further ado, we're just going to start, and we'll go to Best Cinematography. And I will have Kels, if you will read this for me. Thank you very much.
Yes, I will do my best job at walking up to the podium and reading off the nominees. And the nominees for Best Cinematography are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths. Oh, I'm learning something new, some new titles here. Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. Thank you.
Thank you. That was well done. That was kind of a good test for that one. Taylor, what do you say about cinematography?
I have not seen many of those nominees, but I will say that Tar looked real good.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
The ones I have seen, it felt very I don't know how to put it. It felt I don't know, it almost accentuated like the coldness of the movie in a way.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And it felt very vast, but also at the same time, in a different way, very like claustrophobic, because you kind of focus on that character's descent into I don't want to say madness, but madness.
Right, kind of the spiraling going on with that character, without giving too much away. Hey, Tar, is your prediction for what's going to win?
I'm not putting any hard predictions down on anything, except for the top 8 awards, shall we say? But I really enjoyed Tar's cinematography.
Okay, cool.
I've also heard good things about Bardo.
Yeah, I have
this award specifically.
Excellent things about that. I know everybody's favorite DP Roger Deakins did Empire of Light, but I have also heard that there's some dismissiveness of him getting nominated there. It's like, well, we're going to nominate him because he's Roger Deakins. It's almost as if he's getting a John Williams treatment or something, lately. but yeah, I think my prediction for best cinematography is going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. I was blown away by how uh, visually stunning this film was when it's like if I were to root for it to win anything this night, and it's probably going to win a few. Um, this is probably the second most likely it's going to win for the night if it wins. I know that the American Society of Cinematographers picked Elvis, interestingly enough.
Huh.
It's Mandy Walker who did the cinematography for Elvis. And I think it was kind of a surprise that it got nominated for the Oscar. But it should also be noted that the Society of Cinematographers did not nominate All Quiet on the Western Front, and I don't think they nominated Tar either. But I'll have to double check on that. Oh yes, yeah.
The cinematographer for Elvis, is that a male Mandy or a female Mandy?
I think it's a female Mandy, but I don't want to assume,
I can check that for you. I'll fact check.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be right back. I got
okay. I can also say this about cinematography. A lot of people expected Top Gun Maverick to show up here. It was the front into nomination morning, and it was a huge surprise that it was left off. That would be Claudia Miranda who did that. So, the speculation of what's going to win is kind of up in the air on this category. But while she's still looking up, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Best Film Editing as the next one. Kelly, if you please.
Yes. And the nominees for Best Film Editing or achievement in the area of film editing are, oh my gosh, I can't pronounce Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, and the Irish one that I'm not going to try to pronounce. So Taylor, take it away.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
Yes, there we go. Beautiful.
Now I know.
So Taylor, who do you think?
A lot of the times the Oscars like the most editing as the best editing, but this year I feel like the most editing coincides with the best editing. So I think this is going to be one of perhaps numerous awards that Everything Everywhere All at Once wins.
I'm in agreement with you on that. In all the precursor awards, Paul Rogers of Everything Everywhere All at Once, or if you want to shorten the title, going away with all of them. That almost sounds like the last name of the lead actor as well. But we'll get into that as well. Did you find out about Mandy Walker?
Yes. According to ScreenDaily.com, Elvis cinematographer Mandy Walker is the first woman to win the ASC Feature Award. So cool. That is a female cinematographer, and American Society of Cinematographers Awards on this past Sunday. She won. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. It could be. That's another award that Elvis could run away with. But again, I'm going to stick with All Quiet on the Western Front for cinematography, and for film editing, Best Everything Everywhere All at Once. Just as my acid reflux kicks in. Okay, here comes the next award is Best Production Design. Kelly, if you'll help me out here.
And the nominees for achievement in production design. Isn't that how they say it?
Yes, sure.
All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans.
All right. So there's some contenders in that one. What do you think, Taylor?
As someone who has not seen any of those, I think it could go a number of different directions. I think Elvis is a pretty strong player in this category. I also think that there's potential of like a dark horse upset with Babylon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I do not have the wherewithal to say that's the one.
Oh yeah, I will say I have seen all five of these, and I think you're onto something, Elvis, as the favorite. I did do a little bit of homework on this category. I found that it is an award that usually goes to a movie that is nominated for Best Picture, and the last time it didn't was The Great Gatsby, which happens to be a Baz Luhrmann movie. And lo and behold, this is another Baz Luhrmann movie that is up for Best Picture. If that's any indication, I would say Elvis is the one to beat for Best Production Design. I'm predicting Elvis. My personal preference would be Babylon, because it was a gigantic movie with a whole lot going on and very grandiose kind of film. And I'm happy to see that it got nominated. I would also look out for Avatar, because the original Avatar won Best Production Design all those years ago. Um, so, I mean, maybe the newness has worn off on what Pandora looks like and such, but I would go with Elvis. So let's go on now to Best Visual Effects. Um, and Kelly, if you please.
Yes, the nominees for achievement in visual effects are There's All Quiet on the Western Front again, man. You know, let me finish. I'm sorry. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun Maverick. And what I'm questioning is, why is Everything Everywhere All at Once not nominated in this category? Can anyone tell me?
That is an interesting thing to ask. I mean, yeah, I mean, there were definitely a whole lot of visual effects for Everything Everywhere. But yeah, in all the short lists, I think it made the list before nominations happened. But yeah, there were just a whole lot of really big movies that kind of overshadowed it, I suppose. And, you know, bless Everything and Everywhere. It came from the independent scene, which is the scene that often gets overlooked in this category.
Makes sense.
I think we know what the favorite is in this one, but let's go to Taylor. Let's see what he thinks.
I'm like, do we know what the favorite is? I feel like probably if I was gonna name two that were like highest up on the list, it would probably either be All Quiet on the Western Front or good old Avatar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I my prediction is Avatar: The Way of Water. Not only do we turn these people into Na'vi with the computer design, we're also getting them wet and seeing trickles of water cascade down their face and such. I mean, it's pretty impressive, and I would be quite shocked if Avatar: The Way of Water did not win. But I would prefer to see Top Gun Maverick take this one. I think there were some kind of some homemade effects going on as well with that. You know, they were shooting with the jets and such. Like it's something to throw out there anyway, I will say. But I highly doubt anything is going to beat Avatar: The Way of Water. Of all the Best Picture nominees that are not going to go home empty-handed, Avatar's got this one sealed, I think. You could debate that it's the only reason it's up for Best Picture. I don't know. But that's, a conversation for another day. Let's go on to another category. We're going to go to Best Costume Design. Kels.
And the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Costume Design are Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Yes, excellent. Excellently read. Taylor, your thoughts on costume design?
I feel like I want it to be Everything Everywhere, just because of the sheer volume of of costumes in that movie. It's like you could probably sit there and like
Yeah.
make a list, and it's probably
And it's
over.
not
Yeah,
just Jobu Tupaki.
yeah,
Well, that's a big
it's
part of it.
everyone.
Yeah.
So I like that one, and I feel like they were very detailed, and everything was so thought out and different. But also, I know the Academy tends to favor period pieces, which makes me think that Elvis could perhaps have the upper hand, and maybe to a less extent Babylon.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead, Kelly.
I personally think that the award should go to the movie that is actually about a dress. I think that's I think that's what should happen, because it's.
You're talking about Mrs. Harris?
Yes, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. The whole movie is about the dress, the costume.
Oh, okay.
I
haven't seen it. Have you?
I've read a lot about it. It's on my watch list, and the whole, what sets the plot off is that she sees a dress, and that's what sent her to Paris. And I'm not saying it will win, or maybe. I think it just seems like a costume that is actually part of the plot deserves to be awarded best costume because the movie is about the costume, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I went out on a limb and nominated that, or picked that to be a nominee, and behold, it did sneak in there. It's a pretty costume-heavy year. I'm not going to lie. But my prediction is this is another one I think might go to Elvis. One of the biggest shots of that movie that I think of is when he's standing on the stage in the same pose, and the editing goes from this jumpsuit to that jumpsuit, just rapid fire, and it's all right there in your face. And it's not just Elvis's costumes either, we should say. You talk about period piece kind of stuff. That is a lot of costumes from a certain time, a certain era, and they're I see it coming in. My prediction is Elvis, but my preference is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I think particularly the royal costumes of Wakanda really jump out for me. Just about everything that Angela Bassett wears in that movie pops out for me. And if I remember right, the original Black Panther also won this award. So it would be kind of cool to see that again. Although, I also do have a soft spot in my heart for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and all the many multiverses and all of their costumes. So I will throw that out there as well. A close second place for me, Everything Everywhere All at Once. But I predict Elvis. Let's go to makeup and hairstyling. Kelly, please.
Okay, nominees for achievement in makeup and hairstyling are, once again, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman. I'm sorry, I can't say that without. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale.
Okay. So there's somewhat of a link to the best lead actor race that we'll talk about a little later with this award. Taylor, what do you think about makeup and hairstyling?
Based on what you just said, it was kind of my line of thinking too, that I think it could end up going to The Whale, because we've seen it so many times before that transformation equals win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be a very logical and safe prediction. But also, from stills and stuff that I've seen from All Quiet, it's a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The makeup is a huge part of the storytelling for All Quiet on the Western Front. Usually when a war movie shows up in this category, it has to do with the violence, or the, for lack of a better word, the gore. It could have a little bit to do with that in this case, but you also think about um, the dirt, the debris, the mud. Uh, I remember 1917 got nominated here for good reason. With a character that uh, is dying or something, the paleness starts coming through. There's a lot of reality in the makeup of a war film, and All Quiet understood that to to its credit. Um, that said, I think it is a whole lot of, will it be the Austin Butler movie? Will it be the Brendan Fraser movie? Or will it be that other Colin Farrell movie, The Batman, where they transformed him into Oswald Cobblepot himself? Richard Kind?
That's what he looks like. They hired
Wow.
they
Oh my
hired
God.
they hired Colin Farrell to play Richard Kind, and they could have just hired Richard Kind and he would have been a lot cheaper.
I wasn't ready for that. You're right, though.
Have
you're
you
not
looked at them
saying,
side by side?
you're not saying wrong things, in my opinion.
They turned him into Richard Kind.
So yeah, and it's not just that character in the Batman. I have not seen the Batman yet, but I hear there is a cameo from another one of the big villains of the Batman universe, and I think there's maybe some of that going on as well for this nomination. But all of this said, my preference and my prediction both are The Whale. I think even if no other, if it goes unawarded in other categories, I think this one is jumping out there, and I think a lot of people enjoy that transformation. I will say Elvis is the contender though, and part of it is, Tom Hanks aside, uh, the aging of Elvis Aaron Presley himself. Some of the final shots of this film with Austin Butler in the twilight years of Elvis Presley, it's wild how close they got to the actual real footage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say The Whale, and I could be wrong, but that's the whole thing about predictions. So let's now go to Best Sound. Kelly, if you please, again.
And the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Sound are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick.
All right. So, Taylor, do you have thoughts on this award?
My gut instinct would be that it's between Elvis and Top Gun. Elvis because it's a movie about music in which sound is how we hear it. And then Top Gun just because I'm sure in the theater it's a very important visceral piece of the puzzle to emulate the sounds that would come with flying.
Oh yeah. I saw another YouTube personality talk about how this award always goes to the movie with the most zooms and booms, and I immediately think of Top Gun Maverick when I get phrase. And look over the past winners; they're not wrong. I do think my prediction would be Top Gun Maverick. I think my preference is Elvis. I think there was a lot of fun to be had with the sound of Elvis, the mixing and the editing. Elvis just it kept you going for a ride, and the sound was a big part of that. It really captured that kind of carnival nature at the beginning, and just how fast paced the fame went for him. The sound told a story, in my opinion, on this one. So, but I still think it's going to be Top Gun Maverick. Let's go. Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
Question. Reading these cards is making me realize I do not know which film has the most nominations this year.
Oh, glad you brought it up. I know for a fact that it is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I believe it got 11 nominations, unless I am
I think that's
incorrect.
right.
But
Okay.
yeah, I think I remember it being 11. Now you were probably guessing All Quiet on the Western Front.
But yeah, but they don't have any acting. I know that they don't have any acting nominations.
Right.
Do they have?
Yeah, they did get quite a few of them though. They're I want to say that was second place.
Yeah, I think did they have 10, maybe 9?
9 sounds right. I can't remember off the top of my head though.
Look, what? I have a halo.
Oh, whoa, wow! You have a nice
Someone
light
call
halo.
Beyonce.
Well, we're still in the audio portion of the awards, unfortunately. We've already done visual effects and such, but let's go on now to Best Music Original Score and the nominees.
And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, once again, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin. Did I say that right?
Wonderful.
Thank you. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and The Fabelmans, and this is for Best Original Score.
Yes, and I think this is an excellent handful of nominees. Taylor, did you give these a good listen?
Sure didn't. Just because it's like fresh in my mind, like I really noticed it on this last time that we all actually hung out, everyone in here, along with our good friend Greg Collier, and watched Everything Everywhere All at Once.
In this very room. I'm sitting
in that very room. And it was
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
And that, like, the third, well, I don't know, that's technically like 2.5 times I've seen it. But anyway, this last time at least I thought I really noticed the score for the first time more than I had before. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, this is really good. But I have not listened to any of the others, so.
Okay. I am predicting my official prediction for this award is going to go over to Babylon. If that movie is strong going for it, it's Justin Hurwitz's score for Babylon. Now, personally, I at first was very much on board and said, yeah, that's the score of the beat. And I could see why it's popping out so far. It reminds me a lot. I don't know. Have you all ever seen the video game Cuphead? It's a game called Cuphead. I believe it's on Xbox. And I have a little bit of that music from that video game on my iTunes. And I love shuffling through them. They're very jazz heavy, just like Babylon. It's that 1930s style, you know. So the game Cuphead is very animated, like one of these old Steamboat Willie kind of cartoons.
Okay.
And the music matches so well with it. And the game essentially is Contra. It's like a shoot 'em up side scroller thing. But yeah, Babylon's score reminds me a lot of Cuphead, and I personally feel Cuphead did it a little better. And you know, not to take anything away from Babylon, the music still jumps out at you. But I don't know. It may jump out a little too much. It may have, and that may have been an indicator of why Babylon's not up for Best Picture. The score overpowers the film itself, then, and I think that's kind of what's going on there. But that's a personal feeling. My preference, as Taylor touched upon, is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yes, that third viewing really made me realize it. And particularly the final climactic scene, that music is just my kind of weird. Like, chef's kiss. That's what I've been saying about this movie all year. It's my kind of weird. And it looks like it's a lot of others kind of weird too. And I think the score is a big part of it. But that said, I have an entirely different opinion going into Best Music Original Song. And the nominees for that, you got some reading to do on this one.
Oh, goodness. All right. Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Natu Natu from RRR. Applause from, does that say Tell It Like a Woman? Am I reading it correctly?
Yes.
And Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, which is most likely a Diane Warren song, I'm guessing, but I could be wrong.
It's Lady
Actually, yeah. It's Lady Gaga. Yeah. But there is a Diane Warren song, and that was Applause.
Okay.
So yeah. Kelly, tell us a little bit about Diane Warren, if you please.
Oh, goodness. Oh, well, Diane Warren is almost like the Susan Lucci of nominated songs nominated for an Oscar. Am I right? Am I going in the right direction?
I think she's won a lot more. But yeah, you're right. She's a name that usually pops up in this category.
I'll research how many times she's won an Oscar once you all start discussing. But yes, okay. Diane Warren, even if you don't know who Diane Warren is, viewers, you know all of her songs, from many, many different movie soundtracks and pop songs and everything over the span of our lifetimes. So, especially The Lift Is Up Where We Belong.
Oh, yeah.
An Officer and a Gentleman, I think. I'll fact check myself on that, but you all discuss. We'll look up and see. I'll give her
the year of my birth. Yes.
I'll give her
1980. Taylor, what do you think about Best Original Song?
I feel like the one that I hear that keeps popping up that everybody just really, really loves is Natu Natu. And I feel like going into award season, RRR had a lot more, a lot more weight behind it. So I feel like giving that movie this award would be a really good way to say, hey, RRR, we see you.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah.
But then also you can never count out Lady Gaga, so what do I know?
Yeah, there is something there, and you can't count out Diane Warren. Although I think you can this year. That's the only nomination for television. But that's also the only nomination for RRR. Those of you who have not seen RRR, it is a very fun, wild movie. And you can see it on Netflix, I believe it's still there. It's not sponsored, but yeah, it's another movie that does that Tarantino thing of playing with history. And in this regard, it's following two real life historical figures of India who weren't exactly in the bromantic relationship that this movie indicates. But the dance scene for Natu Natu is absolutely what everybody remembers, and it's the party song this year. I think it's the one to beat. I'm predicting Natu Natu. Although I have some suspicions on the Rihanna song, which is Lift Me Up, from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. To me, it feels a lot like a funeral favorite of a song. I think a lot of people do have Chadwick Boseman springing to mind when they hear it. And it should be said that Rihanna, with her brand new baby bump, showed up at the Super Bowl. So she may be fresh in people's minds still. I don't know. I wonder about the strength of Natsu Natsu without the dance scene with it. But I think it's still going to be Natsu Natsu. What'd you find?
I've got some tea. I've got the scoop. So
Okay.
I'm both wrong and right. Diane Moore did not write Up Where We Belong. I got mixed up. Jennifer Warnes is a singer on that song. I got the War, WARN. But I was right. She is the Susan Lucci of Academy Award nominations for Best Song. She has 14 nominations and 0 wins.
Whoa.
Unless
you're right.
The website I'm looking at is out of date. It hasn't been updated. It's 14 nominations, 0 wins on Best Original Song for a film.
Wow. Man, but she's doing something right by getting all these nominations, I guess.
That inspires me to go look and see.
Go
look them all up. Not right now.
Didn't she write Somehow You Do last year from this is so bad. I call it the Glenn Close drug movie.
Oh yeah, the
See,
one that
you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. It's
4 Good Days.
Like,
4 Good
there
Days.
You go.
That's it.
I was about to say 4 long years.
No, that Reba sang. Yeah, I think she wrote that one. And everybody was so shocked when that was nominated last year. And I was like, hey guys, it's actually a pretty good song. I saw that movie a million years ago and forgot about it.
But yeah.
That's something. Yeah, we'll have to come back to that another time.
All right, we're almost done with all the technical awards. We've got 3 little ones here, and by little, I mean shorts. We've got Best Animated Short. Go ahead, Kelly.
Films nominated for Outstanding Achievement in Short Film are The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. That's very intriguing. The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks, and I hold on. An ostrich told me the world is fake, and I think I believe it.
Oh, good. You could read it. I was wondering if I wrote that too crammed up, but look right. Taylor, do you have any opinions on animated short?
I sure do not.
Okay. Well, I have seen one of these, and it's Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Okay. I've seen that one, and it's delightful. It's aimed more for kids, I think, but it's very Winnie the Pooh meets the Wizard of Oz in a way, but in a very kind of pleasant, serene kind of an atmosphere. It's on Apple, which makes me think it's the favorite. I have heard good things about Ice Merchants and My Year of Dicks.
Tell me the plot for that.
If you, as far as I know, it's a diary of a woman's escapades in the bedroom, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I've heard it's visually okay. Wow, but I have also heard Ice Merchants is kind of more on the adult side of things. It could be the spoiler, but I have a strong suspicion that Apple is going to take this one. Let's go on now to Best Live Action Short Film. Here we go.
Best Live Action Short Film. And the nominees are An Irish Goodbye, I don't know how to pronounce this.
I think it's Evalu.
Evalu, Les Pupilles or Pupille or Pupille, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase, which sounds very fascinating to me for some reason.
Yeah. Taylor, what do you think?
No opinion.
Yeah, I don't have much of one either. I'm just gonna go with An Irish Goodbye. I had a hard time predicting what would be nominated in this and the next category, uh, but An Irish Goodbye seemed like a pretty good staple. Um, I think there's something to be said that the most interesting titles usually are the ones that win in these three categories. But um, I think it also does have to be a pretty good movie. I don't know. There's something to be said about it, though. There usually is a pretty fun title winning it. Let's go quickly to Best Documentary Short.
Best Documentary Short Film nominees are The Elephant Whisperers, that appears to be Howl Out.
Haul Out.
Haul Out. Haulouc.
Yep.
Haul Out. How Do You Measure a Year? Question mark. The Martha Mitchell Effect and Stranger at the Gate.
All right. Taylor, any opinion on that?
I'm putting all my money on Strangers at the Gate.
Oh, interesting.
No
any
reason.
reason? No reason. Okay.
I just like it.
I'm torn between the first two on this one. I think The Elephant Whisperers has that catchy title out, but I have seen visuals of Haul Out, and it's about a person in Antarctica, and there's all this amazing footage of all these walruses, walry, that are like just on this island. I'm gonna go with Haul Out, I think, on this one, because it's very cool. I'm sorry, what was that, Kelly?
Is that the one with the walruses?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a nature channel you can watch with videos that help you sleep of animals. And I will say there is one there with a bunch of walruses, what have you, just sleep on the beach, like thousands and thousands of walruses. And it's just filming them snoring and snorting and rolling over and sleeping and cuddling. And
nice.
So I approve of Haul Out.
Well, and was it last year? Was it last year that Best Documentary Feature, which My Octopus Teacher?
That sounds familiar.
Was the name of it?
Was it last
year or the
year before?
I can't remember. No, last year was Summer of Soul, and I remember specifically. It's part of why there's a crisis team at this year's Oscars. Not because of the documentary, but of who was presenting Best Documentary, and what happened there. But that's all in the past. Maybe it'll come up again. I don't know. Let's get into the meat of the awards season. Here we go with Best Animated Feature Film.
And the nominees for Best Animated Feature Film are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red.
All right. Well read. Thank you. Taylor, what are your thoughts on Best Animated Feature?
I think it's the clear frontrunner at this point is Pinocchio, and it probably will win. But shout out to Marcel, that sweet shell with shoes on.
I need to watch.
It's really good.
He's a legend. He's an icon. He is the moment. And we need to pay him respect. Also, shout out to Turning Red, which was a delightful Pixar movie that maybe didn't get the recognition it deserved because it went straight to Disney Plus, and it deals with what is but shouldn't be sensitive subject matter.
Mm.
I think Turning Red is a really, really important movie in terms of representation, in terms of cultural representation, but also just representation in, you know, female
Yeah.
adolescence.
Yeah,
So
that's nice to represent for a change
yeah.
in a way that's,
So
relatable.
I have a lot of big heart feelings for both Marcel and Turning Red, but I think Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio has got the prestige factor.
Yeah.
It's
I
Guillermo
would
del
say
Toro.
I would say I've seen half of these nominees, and by half I mean literally half. I am midway through Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio as we speak. I'm going to finish it after this recording, actually. But I have seen Marcel and I have seen Turning Red. I definitely loved Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. I will also say I turned on the Sea Beast at the restaurant that I work at. We didn't have it with the sound on, but wow, it's visually very impressive. It's a lot more effects with water, kind of like Avatar: The Way of Water is. At first, I thought, "Oh, is this another stop motion animation film?" But it is CGI. It is a lot like Arthur Christmas kind of animation, and that kind of deal. Um, yeah, it looks really cool. I'm gonna have to check it out with the sound on. But I'm with Taylor. The front runner is gonna do it. It's Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That's my official prediction. My preference is Marcel. But let's go on now to Best International Feature Film. And go right ahead, Kels.
Oh, okay, good. These are all pronounceable for me. All Quiet on the Western Front from Germany. Argentina, 1985 from Argentina. Close, is it pronounced close or?
I think so, yeah.
From Belgium. EO from Poland. The Quiet Girl from Ireland.
There we go. Taylor, what do you think?
I think it's very clearly All Quiet on the Western Front. And yeah.
Yeah, the one that's up for Best Picture a little later on, spoilers, and has been read a lot by Kels tonight. Go ahead.
I didn't know you could be nominated for both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you could win both, as Parasite proved.
Oh, that's right. Right. See, yeah. I guess a lesson last year because I saw that happen, but a lot.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I think for sure this is, if All Quiet's going to win anything this year, it's this category, Best International Feature Film. I'd be very shocked if it didn't go to this one. Congratulations, Germany. You're getting an Oscar. Let's go now to Feature Film. Here we go.
Best Documentary Feature Film nominees are All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and what is that? Naval?
I think it's Navalny.
Navalny?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Taylor. What do you think?
The only one that I've really heard, I feel like, some fanfare behind is All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. So that's the one that I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of notice, a lot of early notice. I will say that. It didn't seem too far-fetched to predict it to be nominated, and lo and behold, it did. I know Fire of Love, I believe, can be found on Disney Plus. It's I think a volcano documentary from what I've seen. And I think I was looking at the Ace Eddie Awards, the editor awards, and I think it got the best editing for a documentary. Fire of Love did. But all of this said, I have heard a lot of talk about the one I'm predicting, which is Navalny. It has some connections to all the current news with Ukraine and Russia, and I think there's going to be that connection that helps it put it over. So let's go now to the screenplay awards. Here we go, Kels. We're going to start with Best Original Screenplay.
Best Original Screenplay, The Banshees of Inisherin, Martin McDonagh. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I should be. Yep. I'm a theater major. Or theater degree. Everything Everywhere All at Once by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Mm-hmm. The Fabelmans by Tony Kushner and Steven Spielberg. Tar by Todd Field. And Triangle of Sadness by Ruben Ostlund or Ostlund.
I think it's Ostlund. I think you're right on the first one there.
Ostlund.
I could be wrong. Taylor, your thoughts?
I can see a world where this is another trophy under Everything Everywhere's belt. I could also see a world where the Academy wants to recognize Banshees in some way because its acting categories aren't looking super strong right now. So I think it's a toss-up between those, and I think in this moment I am going to predict Banshees.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. I like this. We're getting into getting into toss-up territory here, I think, as well. I think you're right. I think it's between those two. I think it's between Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Banshees of Inisherin. I think this award usually goes hand in hand with whatever might win Best Picture. And I do think this is a year where Best Picture will come from this crop of movies. They are all Best Picture nominees. But I'm going to go with what the WGA did recently. The Writers Guild of America went with Everything Everywhere All at Once for their original award, and I'm doing the same. Over there is my personal fictional ballot. This is how I would personally rank all 5 nominees. Triangle and Tar were really close, neck and neck for me. I think I like Triangle a little better. I think I would rewatch Triangle, but Tar blows me away with its screenplay. So yeah, that's I wanted that to be said. I love Martin McDonagh. I'm a huge nerdy fan of his. But I think it's going to come up short a little bit, and I think the game. Let's go now to Best Adapted Screenplay. There's a reading here. Go right ahead.
All right, and the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Adapted Screenplay are All Quiet on the Western Front by Edward Berger, Leslie Patterson, and Ian Stokell. Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery by Ryan Johnson. Living by Kazuo Ishiguro. I think I'm sorry if I've got my if I'm mispronouncing, I'm sorry.
Sounded great.
Top Gun Maverick by Peter Craig, Aaron Kruger, Justin Marks, Christopher McQuarrie, and Eric Warren Singer. and then Women Talking by Sarah Polley, which I will say right up front, that is my pick, and I believe it will win, and that is my opinion, and I'm standing by it.
Have you seen it?
No, but
it's really good. It's really good.
And we want to watch it. It's tough material, and we got to pick a day where you're in the mood for that kind of thing. But I've been, following Sarah Polley since she was a kid, and I know, she deserves it, and I think that's the, she won at the Independent Spirit Awards last night or the other night. Like, she's already won some precursors, and I think that is the one. This is the award that's going to be given. Like, it's going to be its reward for being how wonderful it is. It
Mm.
kind of, well, we can talk about it more when we get to the acting categories.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my pick, and I think it's going to, from what I read, I think it's
Cool. Awesome. Taylor, what do you think on this one?
I agree with Kelly for a lot of the same reasons. I think, first of all, like Kelly said, I think they're going to want to award the movie in some way, and this is a good way to do that. I also think Sarah Polley was deep in the best director conversation and didn't make the cut. So I think this could also be I think she could be this year's Emerald Fennell in a way.
Yeah.
To where she gets a screenplay award, even though Emerald was nominated for director. I think this is the award that they're going to give her as like we see you.
That's cool. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, about how she was snubbed with best direction, and this could be oh yeah, we're totally giving it to her now. I think you're right. I think Women Talking is the favorite going in. My ballot, I loved Living, everybody. It's a very underrated film that more people should be talking about. I'm a little surprised it's not up for Best Picture. I will say that. It's a remake of an Akira Kurosawa film. And granted, I have not seen the original Kurosawa film, but Living is really good. I think it's going to be between Women Talking and All Quiet on the Western Front in this category. I really hope that Women Talking overcomes the war movie, because All Quiet did win the BAFTA award in this category, but Women Talking was not even nominated at the BAFTA.
Interesting.
That's something to be said. But yeah, that's that. Let's go into the acting. And we're so close to wrapping up. We're going to start with a hard one. Best supporting actress. Best supporting actress. Here we go. Go ahead, Kels.
All right, best supporting actress. We've got Angela Bassett in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Hong Chow in The Whale, or Cho. Was it Cho or Chow?
Chow.
Chow. I said it right. Yeah. Hong Chow in The Whale. Carrie Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin. Jamie Lee Curtis in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Sue, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I always pronounce her name wrong too. Please tell me, Taylor, how is it? Was the correct?
Stephanie Sue.
Sue, I did say it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. There. Yeah.
I think awesome. So. I know my girlfriend Sue. She spells her name as you. Maybe I could convince her to throw a little H in the very beginning.
Silent H.
I don't know. Probably not. Go ahead. Either one of you, because I feel like either one of you has got something to say on this one.
Oh, as we all three agree, I think the top three are. It's. I guess it comes down to like an Angela Bassett versus Jamie Lee Curtis sort of situation. And as Everything Everywhere All at Once gains more and more momentum, there's always concerns about vote splitting, right? Like, Stephanie and Jamie Lee, they're going to split the vote, and Angela Bassett will sneak in. But in the end, it's really, they all deserve it. I mean, they all deserve to win. This is especially this category is one where you're just like, God, can we just like, why can't you give out shares or something like that?
5-way tie.
And I have no right to like offer an opinion on most things because of all the movies there, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the only one I've seen. And Taylor, I'll let you continue.
Sure.
So this category is really, really tricky. There are many ways forward. There is the fact that Angela Bassett has won 2 precursors. There's the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis could be riding the Everything Everywhere All at Once train and come along for the ride with a win.
She got the SAG.
There is also the world where the BAFTAs do their crazy little thing where they somehow predict a random acting category and Carrie Condon wins. So I also think right now that a lot of attention has been brought on Angela Bassett, people pointing out the fact that her nomination is for a Marvel movie. And in the industry right now, there is a lot of hesitation to give Marvel that kind of badge, if you will, when, you know, they're kind of the commercial success they've always been. So there's some trepidation on that one. So I actually think if, you know, any vote between Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Sue was going to happen, that it could be Condon that comes up the middle and wins. But in my brain right now, I think it is between Curtis and Condon.
Okay.
And I just have this rant, and this could also be another place where they want to honor Banshees in some way. And I just have a gut feeling that Jamie Lee Curtis getting the nomination was the win and the honor for her. And I think Condon's gonna take it. I think this is like one of those like weird gut predictions where, you know, I will, you know, live or die by this, but I think the BAFTAs are gonna do their weird little thing where they Anthony Hopkins the crap out of this, and I think she's gonna win.
Maybe, yeah. I'm entirely torn on this. So, just for the record, you're saying Carrie Condon is your prediction?
I think so. I'm aware that I'm very much in the outliers of the predictions, but
so tough.
The BAFTAs are weird, y'all.
Yeah.
The BAFTAs are weird.
you definitely touched upon something I was going to bring up. That if Banshees does not go home empty-handed, it may be because of this award. I think Carrie Condon is in a position that she could be the film's only hope. And that is bearing in mind, if we're going with the logic that screenplay doesn't go, it's hard to say. I'm wondering, I feel, as much as I love Banshees of Inisherin, I wonder how polarizing it is as a film to a lot of voters. It takes its time, I know. I loved it, but I wonder. I have a feeling it will go home empty-handed, sad to say. That said, the only sure thing I know going in, it seems, is that fifth place is Hong Chow. The other four have some wild momentum going on here. Smart money, says Angela Bassett, because she won the Golden Globe, she won the Critics' Choice Award, but that feels like forever ago now, because we have seen Carrie Condon win the BAFTA, and we have seen Jamie Lee Curtis win the SAG Award, and we have seen Stephanie Sue win Best Breakthrough Performance at the Film Independent Spirit Awards recently. So it's all over the place. It finally comes down to me saying, who do I want to win? Who will I kick myself if I don't predict them and they do win? And for me, I'm going out on a limb, but I'm going with Stephanie.
Interesting.
I'm doing it. And I'm fine being wrong on that. But the first time I saw the movie, the first time of 3 times I saw the movie, I said, holy crap, what a performance from her. So that's where my heart says, and I would love to see it happen.
Yeah.
All right, we got the hard one out of the way. Let's now go to a very easy one, it seems. Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, I don't want to mispronounce Key's name. So we have Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway, Judd Hirsch in The Fablemans. I can't pronounce Barry's last name either. Somebody want to do that for me?
Keegan.
Keegan in The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Huy Quan and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I hope I pronounced it right, because as a child I had a crush on him. So you think I would know how to pronounce his name right?
Yeah, it's I think it's Ke Huy Quan. It's like Hui, like W-H-E. Yeah, almost like that. All right, let's go to Taylor on this. What do you think?
Well, it's obviously gonna be Judd Hirsch. No, it's gonna be Ke Huy Quan. It's done. It's over.
That's the one sure thing in life.
Next category. It's done.
Yeah. I also have Ke Huy Quan winning. We're all so happy to have him back. I feel like, and he's been on the red carpet. He's doing everything right. But we also, I would say, Judd Hirsch, God love him, but he's got very short amount of time. He could enter the Academy record books with that, I suppose, but it looks very unlikely. But yeah, there we go.
And I would just like to take this time to say just how special. I mean, there are so many things to love about that movie for me, and that's one of the big reasons is seeing him back on screen again, the nostalgia of it, just the like, oh God, he was always so talented. I texted my dad today and I was like, hey Dad, by the way, if I told you that he's going to win a best supporting, it was like if I told you the Data from the Goonies and Short Round Oscar, and my dad was like, what, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I saw that guy on TV, but I didn't make the connection. It was Data. And I'm like, yes, Dad, it's Data. So
cool.
That it's just wonderful. I can't as an 80s kid, it's just, I mean, it deserves it for many more reasons than my fan reason, but it's just such a nice, wonderful
It's
feeling.
cool. Okay, we've got 4 more awards here, and we're getting it. We're getting it. Here we go. Here goes. Best Leading Actress. Go ahead, Kels.
That would be Cate Blanchett in Tar, Ana de Armas from Blonde as Blonde, Andrea, is it Riseborough? Riseborough, Sue Leslie, Michelle Williams in The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once. All of it.
All right. Taylor, you go right ahead, buddy.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is surging. I think it's very much between Blanchett and Yeoh, but I think at the end of the day, Yeoh is going to take it, and I think she should. The end.
Okay. All right. Wow. Do you think so too, Kellis? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote something down, but my real pick, my actual prediction, I didn't have the guts to actually write this down. I want it to be a tie so bad. So bad. If it were a tie, Blanchett and Yeoh, I would jump through the roof. Because not only would it be the second time ever in the category that this happened, but Cate Blanchett played Katharine Hepburn, who also is one of the recipients of that tie. So how incredible would that be? And I think that was Katharine Hepburn's third win as well, the tie one. So it would be Cate Blanchett's third win if it becomes a tie as well. Just something to think about. But yeah, I didn't have the guts to put that on paper. I'm going with Michelle Yeoh. I think the actors have spoken when the SAG Awards happened, and yeah, she's just, it's absolutely her time. I love Tar, and I really want that tie to happen. And I was quite impressed with Andrea Riseborough, despite all the shenanigans that we talk about ad nauseum. But let's go Michelle Yeoh. All right, who's ready? Best leading actor. Let's do it. All right.
And the nominees for Best Leading Actor are Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in the Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul Mescal in After Sun, and Bill Nighy in Living.
All right.
Please correct
Taylor.
me.
Oh.
I didn't even.
Taylor, go ahead.
I think it's gonna be Brendan Fraser. I think the SAGs again. I think it's a pendulum, and he was very much in favor at the beginning of award season. It kind of started to waver, and then I think it's refocusing back on him. So I think it's going to end up being Brendan Fraser, but Austin Butler is definitely the biggest competition.
Absolutely. It's between those two, I think. I love Colin Farrell. I love especially when he does Martin McDonagh dialogue. But yeah, he had his wins early on with the Golden Globes and the National Board of Review. The thing about Brendan Fraser is that his movie is not up for Best Picture, and Austin Butler's movie is. There has been a trend also of awarding Oscars over actors who have been around a while. It just kind of depends on, does the industry feel like you've worked long enough, we want to give it to you. And it happened with Anthony Hopkins. He got a second award for it. It's really tough. It's really tough. I very nearly put Austin Butler just because of the Best Picture thing. But let's do it. Let's get behind that Brendan Fraser train. He's been given excellent speeches. I think that's going to also help in his favor. But there's, I think I love Living enough that I would put Bill Nighy over Austin Butler. But, people have been talking about Butler's performance ever since the summer when the movie came out. It's between the two. I'm not going to be surprised if Austin Butler wins. This award usually does go to a performance that is a Best Picture nominee, and that might happen. But gosh, I really want Brendan Fraser to win this one. And I wasn't as big a fan of The Whale as a lot of other people were. But the movie itself felt more like a play than a movie, and in not such a great way. But he is remarkable in it, and I want him to win. There we go. That said, let's go to Best Direction.
And the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Direction are Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Steinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness.
Thank you. Can I just point out how Ruben Östlund's last name, the very first letter, sort of looks like a certain scene of Triangle of Sadness. It looks like there could be some, vomit coming out of the face. I don't know. I found that funny. Taylor, on that note, Best Direction, what do you think?
It's the Daniels. I think it's the Daniels.
Okay. All right. Kels, what do you think?
I agree, but again, I'm biased because it's the only I did see the majority of Elvis. I keep forgetting that I did see the majority of Elvis one day.
But it's not. But it's not up for best direction.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I got mixed up in my mind.
It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm going with the Daniels. They won the Directors Guild Award, the Critics' Choice. They're right in that train. And, even though a lot of people thought Steven Spielberg was the favorite going in, and, the Fabelmans, if they're going to win anything, I think it could be here. But I feel like the Fabelmans is going to do what the Irishman did and just go home completely empty-handed. And yeah, I love Tar after a second viewing. It's my second pick on there. But yeah, it's the Daniels to lose at this point, I feel. Here we go, the final one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Best Picture. I think I know what a lot of us are going to say, but go ahead and read those nominees.
The nominees for Best Picture are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun, Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking.
All right. Taylor, go ahead and say it.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It is done.
All right.
Goodbye.
Boom. Oh, okay. All right. Kels, what do you think? You've seen Elvis. You've seen everything, obviously.
I would have to agree. And I'm proud that I have seen it. I'm stoked that I've actually seen the Best Picture winner this year, or what will most likely be the Best Picture winner this year. I can say that I saw it and that I was, I'm an OG fan. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, like we saw it, right, all that stuff. And I think it's wonderful that this most likely will happen. I think it's great.
Yep. Let's do it. I think it's gonna win Best Picture. I'm so happy that it's holding on strong. I think that there is still a factor that maybe it's too weird for these older white guy Academy voters. Who knows? But it looks undefeatable at this point. It got the Producers Guild. It got the SAG Award for Best Cast. It got the Critics' Choice Award for Best Picture. Now, I think All Quiet on the Western Front could be sneaking up on its heels a little bit, especially after all the BAFTA love. Also, I think Banshees of Inisherin is another one still to watch out for, but very distant on that one. This is how my fictional ballot would be as well. It looks like, I promise, I'm okay with action movies. But yeah, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be this year's 95th Best Picture winner. Thank you all so much for coming and joining us on the recording. Taylor, thanks for coming in. Kels, thanks for coming in. We appreciate your input. And the Oscars are less than a week away. They're this coming Sunday. They'll be hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. And I can't wait to see what happens. Maybe the orchestra will try to play Michelle Yeoh off the stage, try to beat something up. And then the crisis team will have been there for a good reason. Who knows? But, it remains to be seen. Thank you for joining us. This has been another rendition of Likey Movie Awards Talk. And we'll go ahead and end the recording there. And happy Oscar watching. See y'all. I'm still recording. I don't know how to stop. All right, here we go. Bye.